What's up, my peoples? Salutations, Yisrael, YHWH. Want to give praise, honor, and esteem and great reverence to His Majesty, the only one sitting on the throne, the only creator, the only power, the only source, the only sovereign. He's the mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he and he alone is the only one who deserves worship and praise. All right. And I call him Yahuwah. So, you see the title? Some core principles. These are some principles that I live by. All right. As I continue to navigate through this earth, through these modern times, through society, through this worldview, through the viewpoints of those who are around me, you know, whether it be on my everyday job or places or establishments I go in, I try to keep these principles, I try to execute these principles in my everyday life. You've heard the phrase before, it's in you, not on you. Well, this is my principles, these principles that I get from the Tanakh, all right, from the Old Testament, all right, these principles are in me, they not on me, all right, and I always try to familiarize myself with more information, and that's why I do these videos. When I learn stuff, I try to share this information with y'all, all right. I'm not proclaiming to be a teacher, what they call a more, a Koheleth, a priest, a prophet. I don't proclaim to be any of that. I'm just a dude that decides to share information with y'all when the Most High, you know, kind of moves me to do it. So it's been in me for the last several weeks to put out 3 or 4 videos, and I've kind of got the idea of what of the videos I'm gonna be putting out. This is one of them. All right. Just trying to, you know, kind of my page and my life is to help others. All right. I started saying years ago, my life is a message. You know what I'm saying? So anything that I've experienced or anything that I've learned, anything that I've come across or any conversation I've had that might help somebody else, I'm willing to share it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything, and I don't proclaim to know everything. All right. And I know I don't agree with you know, everybody that may have the same mindset as me. I don't agree with everything. All right. I don't prescribe to everything. And I am my own man, all right, but I do appreciate fellowshipping with other brothers of like minds. You know what I'm saying? I don't have it all together. I'm still making adjustments within my life that fits the Most High, but I have left a great deal of things that are wrong behind me, and I've made a whole bunch of changes already. My wife and my children that live with me have as well. There's been a lot of sacrifices. So the information that I share with you guys, I know maybe there are a few people out there that are living blameless lives right now. They've reached that peak of being blameless. All right, and that's my goal, is to reach the peak of being blameless, because I feel like that's important. When in Ezekiel 14, when Job, Daniel, and Noah all got mentioned in there, man, that has to be kind of the height of their reputations. You know what I'm saying? And if there's a book written after the one that we've been learning from, you know, when the Most High resets everything, if there's a book written, man, it would be awesome for my name to be in there, that I survived all the traps and the pitfalls, and I was able to detox from some stuff, and I was able to reach the status of being blameless. You know what I'm saying? I would love that. But until I get there, man, I'm gonna share my story. I'm gonna share some of the little chinks in my armor, some of the little steps on my path. You know what I'm saying? Some of the times I didn't execute right. And then a lot of the times where I was successful on stuff, man, I'm gonna share that stuff. All right, so here are some of the core principles that have gotten me to where I'm at today. And I'm still growing, I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a season of growth. All right? I'm in a season of learning. I'm in a season of mercy and grace. You know what I'm saying? And favor. The Most High has been very kind to me. All right? I've committed some sins that were worthy of death, that they were capital punishment worthy. And he let me live. I'm still here. And I don't take that stuff lightly. I don't take it for granted. I try to avoid being overly righteous and getting a big head and being full of myself. That ain't who I am. The times that I can stand for him, I try to do that. That might not sound like it like it's very strong to some of you guys out there, but believe me, I have turned my back on some evil, and I've made mistakes in my past that I've been able to correct up to this point. Then there's still some mistakes that I made in my past that I haven't been able to correct yet, but I'm in the process of correcting. And I know a lot of us are in the same place. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is a season of vulnerability too for me. You know what I'm saying? Some things I'm going through are unprecedented. So, as I like to think that I got my stuff together, there, you know, for the most part, there are some parts in my life that are pretty complex, and I'm trying to work my way through them, and I'm asking the Most High consistently, constantly, all the time, to just be with me and to help me and to order my steps, like as his word says. I remind him of his word all the time. Some of the verses that are burnt into my heart and into my soul, I remind him of those, because I have a true walk with him. And that's what I encourage you guys to develop, your own true walk with him. All right, it's good to be under teachers, and it's good to have brothers and sisters to fellowship with, and that you clench arms with, and you walk the same paces forward. But at the end of the day, we gonna be judged individually and independently. All right, so I'm just trying to get it right, and like I said, I'm gonna continue to walk in righteousness, and I'm gonna continue to study the scriptures and read the Tanakh, go through the Septuagint, you know what I'm saying, the Amplified Bible, all the different, you know, tools I can use to gain knowledge, all right, and to gain wisdom. So, all right, so I have basically five principles that I live by. All right. The first one, I try to complete and keep whole the 10 Commandments. All right. The second one is what I call the righteousness from within the law, because we can't keep all the law. So you hear people all the time saying, to the best of your ability, the best we can, phrases like that. Well, that's what I call the righteousness from within the law. All right, the stuff that that needs to be kept in the land, you know what I'm saying, and that you probably necessarily can't keep in captivity, but you are always trying to make sure that you are on that same page of that concept. Those concepts are the things that we would be doing in the land. You know what I'm saying? So I call those the righteousness of the law, and ultimately the righteousness from within the law. And I know it might sound like a New Testament phrase or whatever, but Paul is not he is not on our team. All right. I do not follow the New Testament, do not follow Paul. All right. But this concept, righteousness from within the law, fits to me, because basically it helps you to consider to stop sinning. All right. That's what the Most High wants us to do. He wants us just to stop sinning. But to know what sin is, you have to go through the law. And then when you find out when you're going through the law and you find out you can't even keep it all, you want to keep the righteousness from within it. All right. The third thing is avoid abominations. All right. The fourth thing is don't do the stuff that he hates. All right. And then the fifth thing is you have to possess humility, and you have to exercise humility. All right. You can't just say you're a humble dude and then you don't actually express humility. And a lot of people will when you're being firm and you're being passionate and you're being bold and you're being stern, they try to say you ain't humble. But they didn't pay attention to the lives of Moses. They didn't pay attention to the lives of David. They didn't pay attention to the lives of life of Elijah the prophet and other people who were bold and stern and firm and passionate and honest and truthful and factual. All right, and objective. Those are all qualities and characteristics, all right, and attributes of somebody being humble. Humility is simply doing what the Most High tells you to do, all right, under control. That's what humility is. All right, just because I'm passionate, just because I'm firm, that don't mean I lack humility. But I believe humility is required as a daily principle to ultimately, and I'm gonna do my next video, or one of my next videos is gonna be called Chasing Salvation. You have to have humility to be saved, in my opinion. But and I might have to do that as a 2 or a 3-part series, because there's a lot to go into salvation. All right. And it ain't what you think. It ain't that New Testament salvation. All right. But real quick, let's get into some of these verses. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Exodus 20 real quick. We're gonna start at the 10 Commandments. All right, Exodus 20. And so when I say, these are in no particular order, but I listed the 10 Commandments first, because I believe that you can keep all 10. Now, I'm gonna use a couple of examples. All right. The first example is a simple example. All right. Exodus 20:3. You shall have no other gods besides me. And today I'm reading from the Tanakh. All right. I go back and forth from the Tanakh to the Septuagint. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I'll use the Blue Letter Bible. I know some people don't like the Masoretic text and stuff like that, but that's why I try to encompass everything, because I want to learn as much as possible. And the Most High has shown me a lot of His insight through all those platforms, through all those different sources. All right, all those different tools. They're just tools to learn about Him and to learn His ways. All right, and to learn our ancestors' histories. All right, but a simple principle within the 10 Commandments is you should have no other gods besides me, meaning He is alone and we should worship Him alone. All right, we should not be putting a God-man, salvific son next to Him, at His right hand, equal to Him, any of that stuff, as Him. Some people say that salvific son is YHWH, Yahuwah. Insanity, craziness, buffoonery. I don't understand. All right, especially when it's right here. You shall have no other gods besides me. And they'll say, well, that's Old Testament, the New Testament. No, I got another video coming too, called God versus God, where I It's basically capitalized God versus little letter God. All right. And it's basically talking about the God of the Old Testament is different than the God of the New Testament. But there is no comparison. The Most High deserves all of his praise and credit alone. That's it. Only him. He is the only source. Our sovereign Redeemer. All right. Another example from within the 10 Commandments, the Sabbath. All right. I've heard a brother out there say that if you ain't keeping the Sabbath on the correct day, you can't be saved. Man, listen. The Most High will save. He will show mercy to whom he chooses to show mercy. There are 4, 5, 6, 7 different ideas and thoughts about the Sabbath out there. I've come across a bunch of them. At the end of the day, to me, Sabbath means rest. All right. Now, most people that I know keep it on Saturday. And personally, right now I'm doing some research, but right now, I think it's on Saturday. All right. But there are other thought processes out there and other people out there who ain't trying to be malicious. They're not trying to be foul. They're not trying to be evil. They just think what they think. And we all know that the Most High is he either does everything or he allows everything. There's nothing that comes across the Most High's desk that he don't approve of. He know everything. He know all the ins and outs and workings of this earth. Your workings and my workings. And that's why he is investigating people's hearts to see where they at. And if you trying to get that Shabbat right, he gonna honor that, in my opinion. But the Shabbat is not as easy as thou shalt have no other gods besides me, because of all the different ideas out there. We came from the Christian idea that the Sabbath was on Sunday. All right. We came from the Christian idea that Jesus was equal to Yahuwah. And we know that both of those ideas are wrong. So now, in these principles that I keep, I just try to get the most accurate version of whatever. And if it ends up being facts and truth, that's where I want to be. So the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not commit adultery, a sin I committed, it's worthy of death. I did it. All right. But those of you that know some of that backstory, you know that I talked and prayed through that, and the Most High granted me my prayer. And so I look at myself as receiving the same mercy that David received. And my life, all right, and some of the background story within my life, people I deal with, my children, my family, close friends that ain't close no more, chaotic things have happened. Just like in David's life, chaotic things happen. So I'm still dealing with consequences from some of my actions. And I understand that because Yahuwah chasteneth those who he loved. And he told Job, will you not accept the good from me and also accept evil? So I got to take the good with the bad. I understand that. Even when it hurts, even when, I cry, even when I'm mad enough to punch walls and maybe even punch somebody in the face, I have to deal with that stuff appropriately. And I have to pray for his mercy and his patience, and hope he continues to extend it to me. All right. Thou shalt not bear false witness. I don't lie on people. All right. I don't talk negatively toward my brother. We're in a disparaging way. If I have a disagreement or if I disagree with something and I need to get it out, I have sources I can get it out with where I can do it righteously. My wife, for example, she listens to everything. And she don't always agree with my complaints. Sometimes I need to listen to her just to get back in the right mind frame. She helps me stay true to my path. All right. So 10 Commandments, that's principle number 1. All right. Principle number 2. And you can find the commandments in Deuteronomy 5 as well. All right. All right. The second principle that I mentioned was the righteousness from within the law. I'm going to read a few verses and then I'm going to explain to y'all what I'm talking about. Excuse me. All right. So, and when I say righteousness from within the law, it comes with some questions. You know what I'm saying? When the Most High says, turn back to me and I'll turn back to you. What does that mean? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Turning back to him so you can receive protection and provision. All right. And what does it look like in captivity? What does it look like coming out of a church setting and trying to navigate and figure this thing out? All right, so let me go to Hosea, familiar verse of scripture. Hosea 3, 4 and 5 says, for the Israelites shall go a long time without king and without officials, without sacrifice and without coat pillars and without ephod and without oracle idols. And we know the Brent Septuagint right there on that last one says without manifestations. All right. Afterward, verse 5, afterward the Israelites will turn back and seek Yahuwah, their mighty one, and David, their king, and they will thrill over Yahuwah and over the mighty one's bounty in the days to come. All right. And I believe we're in that process right now. All right. And so from the righteousness from within the law, we don't have our government. We don't have a king governing us and putting people over us that will help us judge our issues and keep us in righteousness. We don't have our identity. We don't have our language. So navigating this thing is not going to be, as smooth for some as it is for others. Especially based on our backgrounds, based on where we come from, and based on the sins we committed in the past, if those things will linger. And some of them will. Because of consequences. I've made many mistakes that I'm still dealing with. And it just is what it is. All right. But the righteousness from within the law, you read verses like this and you understand, okay, the king would have had some people over certain jurisdictions. Those people in those jurisdictions would have been helping us deal with our issues. We don't have that. All right, we got each other to try to navigate these scriptures, and a lot of times we don't agree. But we do the best we can with each other in respect to each other. All right. We don't have the sacrifice that cleanses our sins. We have the sacrifice of our lips. But you can't call out to the Most High for my sins, and I can't call out to the Most High for your sins. And hopefully our sins are dwindling, going down and down and down until we can get to blameless. I honestly believe I'm approaching blameless. I still got some steps in the process. It's some stuff I got to get ironed out. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just got to execute. On my end, I got to execute. And on the Most High's end, I'm just hoping that he'll continue to be patient with me and that he'll be merciful to me and kind to me, and that he'll continue to order my steps in his word. All right, another verse I want to go to. Lamentations 2. All right, so this is a verse dealing with captivity. All right. Lamentations 2 verses 8 and 9. Yahuwah resolved to destroy the wall of fair Zion. He measured with a line, refrained not from bringing destruction. He has made wall and rampart to mourn. Together they languish. Her gates have sunk into the ground. He has smashed her bars to bits. Her king and her leaders are in exile. Instruction is no more. Her prophets too receive no vision from Yahuwah. It's kind of like a wilderness experience we're going through right now. We kind of going through we blindly sifting through the scriptures and absorbing little by little righteousness and wisdom so we can execute those things out here in our real lives. We don't have our government and our system set up. We living amongst the nation systems. And we know how wicked these people is. And we have to pull ourselves out of the brainwashing that we've gone through. And we have to detox from a lot of this stuff physically and spiritually. So I know I need the Most High's mercy and patience and long suffering. I know I need it from him. And I ask of it. And so far, he has been very good to me and merciful to me. Even in whooping me. Even when he's had to handle me. He's been kind. He has not left me on an island of desperation. He has not forsaken me. He's told me to dry them tears up and get your butt up and do what you're supposed to do. And be who you're supposed to be to the people that I've attached you to. And so that's what I'm doing. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. The righteousness from within the law. All right. The righteousness from within the instructions. Which he said here in Lamentations, the instruction was no more. But he left us a book of remembrance so we could go and figure things out and get back in alignment with him. And for some of us, it's going to take a little bit longer than others. And I'm not trying to give nobody a bad word, some bad habits, bad I didn't know. All right. I'm using my experiences, all right, to help someone else who might be going through something like I went through and am going through. Her prophets too receive no vision from Yahuwah. Anybody that's calling themselves a prophet, man, this verse right here saying you ain't even got no vision. One more verse, and then I'm going to move on to the next principle. All right. Let's go to Malachi 3 and 22. And I'm in the Tanakh, so I know it looks different in the KJV or the Septuagint on some of these verses, but just bear with me. I'm one of the ones that I like to absorb a lot of resources so I can try to get the whole gist of what the Most High is trying to teach me or show me. So that's how I do it. All right. Malachi 3 and 22. Be mindful of the teaching of my servant Moses, whom I charged at Horeb with laws and rules for all Israel. When it says be mindful right there, all right, that's telling me that, all right, I need to go look at what was said to Moses. But then when you go look at everything that was said to Moses, we can't do all those things that were said to Moses. Who gonna stone somebody in America? Man, you going to prison. And the prison ain't for me. I don't want to go in there and have to kill somebody defending myself. I'm a peaceful person. But when it's time for war, it's time for war. But I'm a peaceful dude. And I'm mindful of the things that I need to be doing once I go and read the instructions left by Moses. Knowing that everything cannot be done. I do not think we can keep the feast because they needed to be done with where the temple was and with the priests. Some people say America is the land. I don't think it's the land, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think salvation is tied to it. All right? Because what did it just say in Lamentations? He took the instruction from us. He took our safety from us. He took our identity from us. He took our government from us. We are a broken, filthy, dirty people right now that's waiting for him to come back and save us. We're waiting to be purified from it. There's going to be another wilderness period, if you ask me. And that's just from me looking at prophecy and stuff. Telling y'all, I ain't got all the answers. I really don't. But I'm learning more and more and more. And I'm not here. I'm saying this out of my mouth. I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to get you to go research for yourself and find Yahuwah yourself. So then you know you good. Because I'm good. I'm in Yahuwah. I trust him. I know he tests the ones he loves. So I know he's gonna send me some rocky times and some bumpy times. But he building me up for greatness. And he building you up for greatness. If you let him, if you seek him in righteousness. All right, the next principle. All right, avoid abomination. You got you can go to Leviticus 11. You can go to, I believe it's Deuteronomy 14. He tells us that, certain foods are abomination to us. Everybody should know. If you watching my channel, you should know about pig and swine and pork. All right, but it's bigger than that. Avoid abomination. Ezekiel 18, it talks about how we not supposed to charge usury to our brothers. You know what I'm saying? But look at the banks out there, what the banks are doing to the people. I mean, ridiculous percentages on mortgages and car loans and stuff like that. Proverbs 16, all right, he talks about pride is an abomination. He also in Proverbs, he calls liars an abomination to him. I try to avoid abomination. Whatever he called an abomination, cross-dressing. I'm not putting no dress on. Point blank, period. I don't care if it's comedy. I don't care if you get paid for it. I ain't doing that stuff because it goes against the Most High's word. All right? There are some things that if I think it's going against the Most High's word, I'm not doing it. There are some things that I know I might be going against the Most High's word, but I'm trying to correct it. And I'm asking for grace and patience and mercy in those instances. But if I know I can avoid something, and I can make a direct decision on my own, and I have the power, the ultimate power. And that's where I'm trying to get in my life, and especially with my finances. I'm trying to get to where I can make every decision and stand on them firm. And I ain't got to deal with an employer or a bank or a car company or anybody to tell me and write in contracts what I'm going to do. And it's going to take a little time to get there, but that's where I'm going. I'm going to be wealthy where I control my own time and I own my day. Yahuwah willing. That's the direction I'm going in. It's all about owning re-owning yourself, having your own autonomy. That's what I'm going to. The fourth principle: don't do anything that he hates. All right, I know hate and abomination are close to each other, but they're separate principles in my eyes. Let's go to Proverbs 6 real quick. This is another very familiar verse of scripture, but I stick on these familiar verses of scripture because I stand on these principles. All right, starting at verse 16. 6 things Yahuwah hates, 7 are an abomination to him. A haughty bearing, all right, big head, all right, a lying tongue, just talked about it, all right, hands that shed innocent blood, all right. If you are hurting innocent people, and if you have killed somebody that didn't do nothing to you, that's shedding innocent blood, and that blood is going to be on your hands. It's going to come back on your head. A mind that hatches evil plots, malicious thinking people that are premeditating evil. All right. Feet quick to run to evil. If you like gossip and you like going to get in people's business and starting trouble. All right. A false witness testifying lies. All right. You lying on your brother. It's one thing to lie about circumstances and lie about things that are going on and be deceptive and those type of things. It's another thing to actually lie and get somebody hurt from it. And then one who incites brothers to quarrel. People who bring division. People who incite fights. Those are things that he hates. So avoid those things. Don't do those things. And when somebody's doing those things, try to diffuse that situation in righteousness. And if you're dealing with people who are not Bible-based, who are not, the principles don't come from the Old Testament, their principles don't come from the instruction of Yahuwah, the law, the commandments, the standards, the judgments. If you're dealing with people like that, and you see violence arising, get out the way, man. Because the earth has been handed over to the wicked. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. And they gonna do what they do. So you might be you might be at a family function, and you cool with some of your family members and stuff, just want family reunions or whatnot, and you see something going down. Interject before the violence comes, and if what you saying ain't helping, get out the way. Get out the way. You tried righteousness, and righteousness was not being accepted by the foolishness. So get out the way, and it's time for you to get on up out of there. And I'm always paying attention. I'm always observing. All right. I vet everybody. I deal with everybody meticulously. I'm always watching. And I know it's people always watching me too, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And sometimes I'm able to build with some people. Sometimes I don't build with people, and eventually that happens too. But I know I'm y'all only. even with y'all only, even with people who are like-minded with me. If there's a fallout, I'm gonna disrespectfully. I'm gonna respectfully remove myself. I'm going to respectfully remove myself. If I feel any animosity, any tension, I'm a peaceful dude. I've said it already. I don't want no drama, and this is one of the reasons right here. All right, one who incites brothers to quarrel. I ain't with all that. People can keep that energy on that side of the fence, man. I'm too. I'm getting on up there in age, man. I ain't trying to deal with that stuff. I'm trying to be pleasing in the sight of the Father, and I'm trying to eventually get to blameless status. That's what we all should be striving for, trying to get to blameless status. The last principle, all right, humility. In Numbers, it said that Moses was the most humble man on the earth, but his sister challenged him anyway, and she received punishment because she challenged him, and she was wrong. All right, so humility is big in the eyes of Yahuwah. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 23 real quick. We're about to wrap it up. All right. Somebody was trying to get a hold of me, look like. Jeremiah 9. In verse 23 says, but only in this should one glory. Let's see. But only in this should one glory, in being earnestly devoted to me. For I, Yahuwah, act with kindness, justice, and equity in the world. For in these I delight, declares Yahuwah. All right. Yahuwah is humble, so he wants us to be humble. All right. Be ye holy as I am holy. Let's see here. Another verse. Let's go to Zephaniah 2 and 3. And this is one of the verses right here that I stand on. All right. Because I keep saying it, y'all. Catastrophe's coming. All right. The day of Yahuwah is coming. The wrath of Yahuwah is coming. All right. The day of destruction of the Almighty is coming. And you're going to have to be humble to survive it. And you're going to have to have been humble. It's got to be in you. Zephaniah 2 verse 3. Seek Yahuwah, all you humble of the land, who have fulfilled the mighty one's law. Seek righteousness. Seek humility. Perhaps you will find shelter on the day of Yahuwah's anger. When I look at this earth right now, it needs to be tore up. I don't like walking in the store and a dude is acting like a girl. I don't like walking in the store and because of my skin color, I'm mistreated. I don't like walking in the store seeing all sorts of tainted and poisoned foods. This world is evil. But I'm not going to ask for Yahuwah, the day of Yahuwah, because he tells us nobody should ask for it. What I ask for simply is to, Father, allow me to survive it. Give me what I need, the wisdom I need to survive it. Give me the strength I need to survive it. Show me what your righteousness looks like so I can survive what you got coming, what you got in store. I want to be a part of the remnant. Last verse we're going to go to, all right, concerning humility. Let's go to Proverbs 22. Let's see here. A lot of wisdom in Proverbs. All right, Proverbs 22. What verse am I looking for here? 4? Yeah, it's 4. All right, Proverbs 22 and 4. The effect of humility is fear of Yahuwah, wealth, honor, and life. Wealth, honor, and life depend on your fear, your healthy fear in humility of the Almighty. Does the Most High get your respect? How far does his reputation proceed to you? His works of past and his works that you see in present and in the prophecies of the future that's coming. All right. How humble does that make you? How humble does it make me? At the end of the day, we all just trying to get it right. So he saves us. And so these are my basic principles of how I'm living so I can be saved. Knowing that I'm still in error on a few things, but trying to correct those errors. Some things cannot be corrected overnight. And there will be some people that disagree with that, but that's fine. We're not going to agree on everything anyway. I'm trying to do what's right in the sight of the Almighty. I don't want to be disrespectful to him. I don't want to be disrespectful to any of my brothers and sisters either. All right. If I feel like I'm compromised in an area, man, I try to be transparent. Knowing it might offend some people. And hopefully it don't, but I mean, if it do, it just do. Can't control other people. But I can control my effort to rectify situations, and I can control my effort to be in alignment with the Almighty. And so this is from me to you right here. All right. Do what's necessary to get in alignment with the Almighty. Do what's necessary to be right on the right side of history. So when Yahuwah do come back and reset everything and start fulfilling the end time prophecies all the way, you good. Make sure you was keeping the 10. All right. Make sure you was operating within the righteousness of the law, the things that are just right to do. All right. Make sure that, what's my other principles? Make sure that you are learning to humble yourself and be humble. All right. Avoid abominations. Avoid things that he considers abominable. And then don't do the stuff that he hates. And that's in no in particular order. Just absorb all that and start operating that way. Most of you do anyway. But for the ones that's new or the ones that's struggling, this is for you. This video for me too. A few of them scriptures I read coming up with putting it together, man, they were for me. And just this being on my mind for the last several weeks and even last couple of months, this has been for me, man. I've needed this, so you guys stay strong out there. Continue to pray. Continue to, if you ain't been fasting, you need to look at fasting, not only afflicting your soul from eating food and drinking water, but the fast of Yahuwah. Go read Isaiah 58. All right. We supposed to be helping our brothers and sisters, or helping people in general that just need help. And some of us is in dire situations, and just a simple helping hand in one little area could bring somebody all the way up to the Most High, to trusting the Most High themselves and seeking Him for themselves. So I didn't mean for this video to be this long, but it is what it is, man. I don't apologize for it. I appreciate any of you guys that are new to the channel. Hopefully I helped you, you know. Continue to study, continue to pray, continue to enlighten yourself and try to walk in righteousness the best you can. Keep his instructions the best you can. All right. If you got questions, ask in the comment section. If I can answer it, I can answer it. If I can't, I can't. But there are other brothers out there, other channels out there that have plenty of videos. A lot of your questions are in one of their videos. If it ain't in none of mine, a lot of your answers. So, I mean, make sure that you are doing everything in your power to get in alignment with the Almighty. And then continue to ask Him for patience and mercy while you're doing that. And continue to thank Him for everything, the good and the bad. Thank Him for everything. Be grateful. Have gratitude for everything. All right? That's it from me, y'all. Much love. You know what I always in my videos. I don't know all the answers. I ain't got all the answers. All right? I probably will never have all the answers. But I'm going to share what I learned. Much love, y'all. Shalom.